Hey folks, I'm Eternal Inquisitor and welcome to Mad Max. I'll be playing this game concurrently with Fallout 4. On days when a recording of this releases, Fallout 4 will not release, so it'll be alternating every other day. Before we jump in, there's just one thing I want to point out. I'm going to have to mute the game at a certain point. The opening credits, which play after the initial cutscene, do contain some copyrighted music. Then I have to mute it there just so I don't catch another copyright strike like I did the last time I recorded this game. But that's really the only thing I need to let you guys know ahead of time. So without any further ado, let's jump in here.
One such man, one who had lost all, over and over, and to this he had lost his sanity. His was a never-ending journey away from the phantoms of his past. He believed he could silence the cacophony in his mind and find peace beyond a place he called the Plains of Silence. He now had the vehicle, the weapons, the provisions and the fortitude. He only needed the fuel. And here, there was but one place to go for fuel. Gastown.
Listen, my apostles of Alpha! You've hunted well. Here's the fox who thought he'd plunder from Scabra Scrotus.
And that's the point I have to mute it. It's straight up just copyrighted music playing over the credits, but I am going to show the credits because it does show things occurring. This game runs story-wise alongside the Mad Max movie that had come out at the time, the name of which is escaping me at the moment. I believe that this is set to have taken place... Fury Road. Fury Road. I believe this takes place right before Fury Road. And in the beginning of Fury Road, Max sees visions of a little girl. And the little girl that he sees is actually from this game, I believe, if I remember correctly. But things are being said, so subtitles, but again, I can't unmute, unfortunately. Which is a shame, because it's quite a good song. But, premise is simple. You've seen a Mad Max film, you know what's going on, but somebody stole Max's car. Which, if you've seen a Mad Max film, you know he's not going to stand for. But, let's get into it here. So this controls, very similar to the Batman Arkham games. Let me get familiar with the controls again here. You got a jump, which isn't very good because Max's leg is fucked up. Get a roll dodge, quite useful. I don't think we have all of our control options just yet because it's still the prologue, but those are the basic ones, and I'll go through them as we get more of them. So our dog friend, who belonged to Scabrous Scrotus, is leading us to water. Obviously, he's thirsty too. The health system in this game is a bit interesting. How do I fill canteen? What is button 2? Ah, there we go. I just wasn't at the right side. So, health system is based on water. Water in your canteen to heal yourself. If you don't have water, you can't heal. Your health doesn't regenerate. You drink water to heal. You can get skills, perks, and such that will improve that, but for the most part, that's the loop. The dog has run off, and we've been instructed by the game to, hey, find the dog. Sounds like the dog is this way.
Chumbucket, this man, are you quiet, gently? What? No!
It ain't for eating.
It's you. Valve has a light inside the other gives birth. Start ablaze by godly plug ignite. Revolution about revolution rejoice. Please, don't kill Chumbucket. Please. Hey.
Why shouldn't I?
Because I know you. Yeah. I spied you in the long lookers. They left you for the blowflies, and they snatched your ride, and now you'll be looking to snatch it back. That's what the prophecy says. You're the driver.
That's right.
And Chumbucket is your man. I'm your man. Yes, I am. Do you have a vehicle that can take you to your car? I do, say. That's right. She's not running now. Sorry for that. I came here for the parts. You see, I'm a black finger. I can make it work again. And Dinky D, too, is gonna need an overhaul.
Don't go stray.
No, I won't. I know you'll find me and dismantle me. I know. Chumbucket's not stupid.
That is Chumbucket. He is going to be our companion for quite a while. You may have noticed he calls the dog a Dinky D, or Dinky Die. That's because the only brand of dog food that survives the apocalypse in Mad Max is Dinky D brand dog food, so everybody thinks that's what dogs are called.
Dog's bleeding out.
Oh, I can fix it, but I do my best work in my sanctum.
Push the car.
I need wire to fix my buggy, but then I can show you where they took the black on black.
Where do I find wire?
Up that path. But before you go, grab some grit, Saint. You must be running on fumes.
So, like I said, dog food. For the most part, the eating in this game is few and far between, fairly sparse, and that can is just defying the laws of physics. And it's fairly disgusting. Okay? You won't see regular food in this game. It's just not really a thing. We'll be eating everything from dog food to maggots we find in corpses, and mostly the latter. I'm using a PS4 controller to play this, but all the prompts are on Xbox, so I might get slightly fucked up by that. It's also got a little bit of a climbing system, just anything yellow you can climb. And we've got some shells for our shotgun, which we'll see used in just a moment. It's telling us to fire, but I don't want to waste the shell when I can just knock that guy off the cliff. That was, as it says, a war pup. Those are the guys who stole our car in the very beginning. They're basically the foot soldiers of Scrotus. You can pause the video if you want to read all the lore on them. But they're just kids, really. They're just kids that Scrotus has raised to fight for him. Scrotus is actually the brother of the two villains from Fury Road. The brothers from Fury Road, whose names I can't remember. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. So again, like I said, it's basically Batman Arkham. We got your strikes and your parries. Real simple. You will notice that the parry symbol above the enemy's head has a circle around it that slowly fills. I don't have the skill for it yet, but once I get a little bit better, I can do perfect parries, which will fuck the enemy up. And I got hit like an idiot because I was too deep in my combo. You'll notice I'm really not wasting my shotgun shells because they're fairly rare. I like to hang on to them until I absolutely need them. But I got a bit of scrap off that guy. Scrap is a currency. There's more scrap over here. We need scrap not only to upgrade our car, but to do various other things. Each location has a number of optional items, as you can see on the right. In this case, there's just 2 scraps, so we're going to look for the rest of it. Should be right up here. There we go. And we get a nice location, 100% looted thing. I'm not going to 100% loot every location in this LP because it'll take a while, but that's how that works. So the other thing we need is wire, which is right here. We can just rip it right out of this truck chassis. Boom.
Should be enough.
Get out of here. Bring the wire back to Chumbucket. So, most of this game is not on foot. The very beginning is an on-foot segment, but the majority of the game takes place in a car. And we're going to have to build our own car, and it's one of my favorite things that I've got to do in any video game.
You are not ready.
You may recognize that voice as the guy who was speaking in the intro. But I quite love the car system in this game. You can build some really neat looking vehicles, and I'm excited to show it to you guys. So, let's hurry over to Chums so we can get to it as quickly as possible.
Oh, here I heard the bloody sounds of a smackdown. You're not leaking, are you? Tell me you're not leaking. Huh? Praise be! Praise be!
So, as Chum said, the dog's a little fucked up. We need to get him to Chum's Sanctum so Chum can patch him up. But in order to get there, we need to repair Chum's Buggy. Max, however, walks very slow when he's carrying things. And this dog is just heavy enough to qualify, so we've got a slow walk for just a minute here. This buggy is kind of neat looking, honestly. I'm kind of a fan of it. I like the aesthetic. It's just shitty enough to be cool. And the wheels, I don't know how well you guys can see that, but the wheels are full of like straw and God knows what else, and they're just strips of rubber. So driving in this game, pretty standard, but goddamn does it feel good. You've got a full handbrake, you can do all sorts of crazy stuff with it.
The sooner I get my car back, the sooner I'll be on my way.
Amen!
And on the right there, I won't talk over them.
These barbarians love to chop.
On the right there, we've got a car health meter and a fuel meter. Both of those are important. We're going to have to keep an eye on them.
Yes, from that look point, we may be able to spot your car. can see the camp from up there without risk of detection.
So let's see if we can get a look at Max's car here. Could be right up here.
Over here! Huh? Over! Come look!
I'm already up there, buddy. Want to pick up the pace a bit?
See, this is where the thick brow squat and cut. Butchers, infidels. Oh, yeah, look, there. Scrotus is their king. He's a big boss man from the gas town, you see. Scrotus always keeps the best parts for himself. Yeah, but he's not here now. You see, I don't see the Land Rover.
I'm getting my car back.
Wait, please. An idea. It's better for you, and it's better for me. Just listen. Look, your black on black is toast. It's scrap. It's gone. She'll never be whole again. Huh? Now I can build you a car, bring into creation one that's faster and tougher than the black on black ever was. Yeah?
How tough, how fast?
Very. Faster than fear. Tougher than an iguana's gonads. Come with me. We mustn't be seen. Huh? I'll take you to the tabernacle, and when you see what I'm gonna show you, you'll be shouting holy all day long.
So Chum is nuttier than an Adeptus Mechanicus fucking adept. He is in love with cars, and he's gonna build us one, apparently. But let's see if he's actually telling the truth. This is just a little tutorial. Over there is his tabernacle, calls it.
Perfect place to build a car.
It's an overturned cargo ship living underneath. Kind of cool.
Come, Saint. Yes, I have much to show you.
Just a short drive to the north, and we'll be over there.
Here are in the outer graves. Over there is the great white.
Again, if it actually wants to show it to me. Ah. I guess it doesn't. Okay, I was gonna say you guys can read the lore if you want to, but
It doesn't get any
guess the
lower
game
than
says
this.
not. There was that weirdness in the intro too, this like flicking back and forth. I hope nothing's up with my hard drive.
My holy hideout
Game
awaits.
drive. He wants us to follow him, but we're just gonna go over here and steal some water real quick. He's got plenty of it.
Come, behold.
Right, let's see what Chum has planned.
Come and see. Huh? Come and see, O Saint. Huh? The dream, the hallucination become truth. The angel made steel. By the fire that moves the piston, by the tranny on all high, by the cam and the U-joint blessed be, there she lies, the magnum opus. There she is.
This ain't her car. It's just a mess of parts.
No. She's knowledge from the numinous, divinely inspired. She wills herself upon this world. Look! See? Here. Divine meets drive shaft and a symbiosis of faith. Modded and made to measure. You want some of that old-time religion, huh? I got a classic whammy turbo high dog. Huh? Hell yeah! Bulletproof and torture tested. Statically upgraded with Chumbucket overdrive. Coils and springs, shocks and links too.
It's gotta be 8 cylinders, nothing less.
We will get there. Yes. First, we have to get her beautificial body.
Show me where it is.
Yes. Come. No time like the present. Come on, Saint. We must go.
And at last we have our car.
From a place sad and strange, where the chariots of old went.
I don't know why the bio things aren't working. There we go.
My life's work. She is the angel combustion, becoming flesh, or steel, as it is. Since the angel combustion sent me the warrior saint, I am sure of my destiny.
So, as you can see, that is one possible permutation of what the car can become. I will be referring to it as the car because magnum opus is far too long-winded for what this thing it is. It is a very impressive vehicle in my opinion, and I would love to own one even half as cool. We can do some quite interesting things to and with it. But first things first, like Max says, it needs a body. It's just a chassis right now. So, let's see if we can fix that problem.
A place I call the graveyard. But we must go in the dead of night when the Buzzard guardians are away on their wild hunt.
Even now, the car is quick. It's very speedy and it handles fairly well on sand. But as you can see, it leaks fuel like a fucking sieve.
Comes the blessings of gasoline. We should find enough fuel for us to make it to the graveyard.
Thankfully, we should be able to find some fuel around here, like you said. You'll hear people refer to gasoline. It's just a anachronism, or whatever you want to call it, for gasoline.
Over there.
Right over here, we should be able to find some. But, given the prevailing situation, I don't think we'll be able to get it without a fight. Oh, actually, it looks fairly quiet over here. Let's grab the scrap while we're here, too. It's not much, but every bit helps.
Empty.
Ooh, that's unfortunate. Well, that one was empty, which means we need to check door number 2.
Along with anything of use.
There's fuel all around. Keep your eyes peeled.
Let's take a look over here and see if our luck's any better.
What prizes do you hold?
Oh, we better hope there's something here, because we're completely out.
Looking for a corpse.
Yeah, what's up, motherfucker? Again, the bio's being weird. These are scrappers. These are, just random wastelanders. But, they're pretty dangerous in numbers. Let's fuck these guys up and take what they've got to give us. Again, it's just Batman Arkham. Combos and counters. Very simple, but feels remarkably good. Max's strikes and the way he attacks is very heavy. There's a lot of weight to it. And these guys, they're a little bit richer in the scrap department, so let's take what they've got. And right over here, these little red coverings are actually infinitely respawning fuel receptacles. As lore breaking as it is, we were to take this fuel can and walk away with it, another one would just pop right up.
What a great bounty! We're in luck. With this rare haul, we may refuel and demolish.
So let's fuel the car back up. You can do a number of things with these fuel cans.
All the way to the brim.
Not the least of which is keeping your car running, but they're also useful for traversing the world in ways that you'll see later. I would like to, before we leave...
Jesus, she's full! But let's bring an extra for refueling or blowing something up.
Like you said, I'm going to grab an extra fuel can to bring with us. Or potentially blowing things up. As you can see, there's an ignite button down there. And you know what? I might as well demonstrate it now. If you hit the X button on your Xbox controller, you can then throw the gas tank. And it'll explode in spectacular fashion, the way real gasoline never would. And can clear gates and other world objects that are potentially in your path. But let's take one with us, like you said. We're just going to store it right in our car. You can store one fuel can in the back of your car.
Hunters return to their lair.
Now that we have some fuel, we can cover some ground and go get the body for our car. Chum mentioned Buzzards earlier. They're an enemy faction that we'll run into later on. I won't talk too much about them because they're kind of neat to see for the first time.
Nobody around. Their gate unguarded. The gasoline saint.
That's a waste when we can just ram it. Oh right, it's ramming restricted. Never mind. So, some gates you can ram open. Some gates you have to blow up or utilize other means. So, although it's a bit of a waste, we're going to use our fuel can here to blast our way in. Max does this one for us.
Exaltation! She's cracked open. We must hurry. Wardens of this place murder on sight.
Of course they do. Everyone in the wasteland does. But we'll just make our way in here.
Thieves that tend this catacomb don't like
Oh,
strangers.
You can repair your car by having Chum do it. You just stop and press up on your D-pad and he'll climb along the top and start wrenching on the engine. Apparently that's enough to repair the whole car.
Dangling man-killers everywhere. Tread careful.
Those things we just passed are like hanging mines. They explode if you run into them. So we've got to very carefully get around them.
More traps ahead.
The game will very intelligently limit your top speed a bit in interior areas like this. Make the car a bit easier to control. You don't have to feather the throttle. Feels quite nice to drive this car, honestly. It's very well done. It's smooth. It feels like you're driving a car on sand, but it's not uncontrollable. And you can make it handle better later on with upgrades. Oh shit! So I fucked up a bit there. We're just gonna stop here and repair, because we're actually in no danger right here, and I'd rather be at full health. I haven't played this game in quite a while, so my driving is probably not quite up to snuff. And unfortunately, Chum takes quite a while to repair the car. There are a couple of upgrades that can speed Chum up, but for some reason, the devs limited those to like the last third of the game. You don't get those for several hours, and it's a very strange design decision. Right, so up there you can see car bodies. We need one of those.
There! Our prize, ripe for the taking. Go quickly. The only way to get up there is through those cave tunnels.
Time for a bit more on foot stuff.
Get the car in place down here. I'll lower the body onto it.
And if you saw that guy up there,
Something here.
you'll know we're about to have company. There is scrap here, though, as the readout says, so let's keep an eye out for it.
Maybe I could zip down this.
Another little addition to the game is these zip lines. You just use your shotgun and slide down.
Flashlight. Handy.
I'll be taking this. That's one of those military flashlights, the L-shaped ones, like from Silent Hill. What I always associate those flashlights with is Silent Hill 2. You can toggle it on and off. It's not super bright, but it's fairly helpful. Are you guys gonna come out and fight, or are you just gonna continue fucking about? There's a bit of water here, we might as well take what we get. We'll top up our health. And take the rest of the water. Keeping your canteen as full as possible is very important. Another zip line.
Yes, there you are, Saint. And you got the whole world up there in your hand. You got a choice to make. Which one shall be your pride? Choose. Get down here so we can escape with our skins.
Well, before we do that, I just want to grab this last bit of scrap. Right. So, like he said, we've got a bit of a choice to make. We've got a few car bodies that we can grab. There's actually 5 to choose from. My favorite, personally, is the furnace. There's actually one that looks exactly like Max's car, which is this one, the Wild Hunt. And there's these two, which are kind of more classic styles. But I adore the furnace because those spikes on the front are just brutal looking. Love it. So this is the one we're going to go with. You can get all of the other 4 bodies later on, however, if you'd like to change it up. Hey, it's the locals. What's going on, guys? Right, so just like Batman Arkham, there are some attacks that are just too powerful to parry or attack through, so we gotta dodge. And these guys are sand rattlers. They're buzzards. That's what they look like. They're just basic buzzard warriors, and the buzzards tend to live underground and in caverns and such. So, fuck that guy up. He dropped a weapon. Shiv. And I'm sure we'll see that in action in just a moment. Got another type of buzzard here. We got the Rattlers. These guys use shivs in combat. That was a wall kill. You get an enemy up against the wall, you can just kill him like that. Actually fairly easy to do. And that clears that combat section. Let's lower this bridge and get out of here. So now we've got our new car body on. And this is the first time we get to see car combat, and that is a heavy part of this game. There is a ton of car combat. Thankfully, it's done pretty well.
Shoot for the fuel tank!
We can fire with our shotgun like we just did there to blow up the enemy. Or we can utilize our car itself as a weapon. I tend to do the latter because I like to conserve ammo. See the enemy car's health right above it. And if we do enough damage to it, it'll just explode. We've got a nice rear view there. We just flick to that. A good side ram can one-hit enemies, as you saw right there.
Oh, praise be, we're alive and free of the graveyard. Wait, something's loose. I can fix it now if you stop, or later at my sanctum. It's your choice.
Do your thing.
So, the magnum opus, the car, doesn't take jumps very well. That's one of its few weaknesses. That jumping in this car will almost always fuck it up. So we're just going to have Chum patch it up, because we had a little bit of a jump coming down out of there, and it didn't take it too well. Guess it doesn't have very good suspension, considering most of it is rust. However, we've got our car body now. Let's head back to Chum's Sanctum. This is the world map, by the way. It's fairly expansive. It's got a pretty big map. We'll head back to Chum's Sanctum and see what he wants us to do next. This being an open world game, there are a number of little side things that we can do. I'm going to mostly focus on the story with this game. I'll do what's necessary to get us through the game, but I won't be hitting up every single side quest, because there's quite a few of them. And there's our pupper. Right. What have you got for us, Chum?
I need more than just a body and some wheels.
Hey, man! Oh, we need parts, scarce as they are. Help me gather all this scrap. Huh? I'll fashion a harpoon.
Now, a harpoon, that would be useful. I'll explain exactly how it works once we get it, but for now, let's do what he asks and
May also prove to be
gather
useful
all
in
this scrap.
How so?
We could use it to defeat enemies. Rip off doors.
Like he says, it's got a number of uses.
So, we got all we need?
Just junk and parts.
Yeah, but the jag tip, it's not here. See, it's not here at all. Yeah, it's in my bunk. It's just there for safekeeping. See?
I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that and go get the last part that we need. And Max, I highly suggest that you wash your hands after we deal with this, because fuck you. He is implying exactly what you think he's implying, by the way. He says, don't run your fingers over that. That's... You don't want to touch that.
This harpoon will be very useful.
Got the jag tip.
Right, and this is the meat of the game. This is the garage, where we customize our car. We'll be spending a lot of time here doing a lot of different things. As you can see, there's a ton of upgrades, and each one of those is a category. It's got its own tree, basically. First things first, however, we gotta build a harpoon. For 15 scrap, we've got a base harpoon. Boom. We also have enough scrap for other things. So let's get other things like a ramming grill. Very useful. There's just some basic bars in the front of the car, but it'll add some defense and a little bit of actually it just adds attack. Let's look at what else we might be able to do while we're here. Guarantee it's not much, but if we can, it's worth throwing on a couple other upgrades. And you can get a look at all the other things that we can put on here. Suspension, tires, there's a boost system. And each one just shows what you need to unlock it. Usually it's story progress. We can get a sniper rifle later on, which is pretty cool. And the harpoon. We can get what's called a thunderpoon, which is an explosive harpoon. It's neat. Get some side burners for the car. Shoot fire. These repair tools, or what I was talking about earlier, we can't get these until we're about 2/3 through the game. It takes quite a while, unfortunately, to get better tools for Chum. Here are the other car bodies that we could have gotten before, but we only get the one we chose. And of course, we've got some body color, some paint for the car. You get different decals, all sorts of things. And lastly, hood ornaments. Now, I've got a couple of these, but they're not super satisfying. We get, like, there was a Rockstar branded, like, Rockstar energy drink DLC for this game that everybody got free, and I've got that one, and it gives you a couple of hood ornaments. Can't put them on just yet, but that's everything we can do with the car. Unfortunately, we can only do what it allows us to at the moment, which is just those front bars and the harpoon. Let's exit out of the garage and finish up here, though.
Just stand a chance. She'll need nitrous. I know how, but we'll need the parts.
We just get them. It'll be easy with a harpoon.
Yes, but first, Scrotus war boys are out there. And if we don't weaken their numbers, why, it'll mean the end of you, me, and the magnum opus.
All right, let's do it.
Right, well, we've got our car, we've got our harpoon, we've got our dog, and we've got our creepy little hunchback. I think this is a good place to leave it off. Like I said, I'll be doing these episodes interspersed with Fallout 4. It may not be exactly every other day, because I may feel like doing one game more than another in a particular instance. But these are the two games that I'm going to be playing through for the moment, so I hope you guys enjoy both of them. As usual, like I said, like, subscribe, leave a comment, all the usual YouTube crap that helps with the invisible bots that control our lives on this godforsaken website. Have a good evening, guys. Stay safe, and I'll catch you later. Bye.